right, and down here in the bottom right of Tal'Darim Altar is our Terran representing the Team Slayers. He's got his work cut out for him here.
Slayers, TaeJa.
All right.
Look at that colorful keyboard he's got now.
Yeah, I saw that when he was setting up. I was like, whoa, that is a very pastel keyboard. And here is one of the most consistent programmers ever.
OG's NaDa.
There's
That does not say NaDa to me, man.
No, no, it doesn't. There he is.
Something about that drawing just does not seem as powerful and manly as NaDa himself.
I really hope that we're going to see, you know, I'm a TaeJa fan, and it looks like, yeah, TaeJa and NaDa split it a little bit less evenly. TaeJa 17.9%. NaDa, most people thought NaDa were going to make it out of this group, and I actually have to agree with them.
NaDa has gone gas first in his barracks he's making in the middle of the map.
Interesting.
So this could mean many things. It could mean that he's going completely mech and he's going to use that barracks for scouting. Or it could mean that he's got some sort of forward Reaper build planned.
Yeah.
Or even Marauder pressure.
Oh, but look at this. TaeJa scouting SCV is scouting cross positions first. I don't think it's going to see that barracks, though.
No, he's not going to see it.
Just barely doesn't see that barracks.
NaDa has practiced this build so many times. You know, he's actually practiced against every scouting pattern possible. He's not going to fall to someone scouting cross positions first.
It's kind of amazing, though, because actually it's placed in a spot where if he was like bottom left, scouting top left, if he went by that tower, he would see it really easily. So
yeah,
it's really...
If he went by the tower, for sure he would have seen it. And he's making a factory here. We're going to see, I think, that Hellion build. And remember, there's no ramp on this map. So
yeah.
It's a really smart build to do on this map.
NaDa has scouted TaeJa's base. He knows where it is now. And TaeJa is going to scout it after all. Look at this TaeJa scouting around for proxies. And just looking all over the map, scouts this.
Yeah, he's going to make a bunker immediately at the front of his, not ramp, at the front of his choke point.
Yeah, and it looks like NaDa's making a reactor on that, so he might be going for reactor Hellion.
Yeah, he's going to reactor Hellion. This is a very specific build. We've seen Ganji do this in the past. Ganji, the first player, do this in the GSL. He actually did it against TaeJa, ironically. And it's a pretty strong build on maps with no ramps.
Yep, but not very strong against bunkers.
It's really meant to punish someone who goes one barracks expand or someone who just does not scout. I mean, if you go one barracks expand and you don't scout this, you don't have a wall off, and of course you're going to take a ton of damage from this.
Now I expect NaDa, he's a very smart player. He's probably going to send those first two Hellions out. He's going to scout the bunker, and he's probably going to expand off of it.
Well, he's got a starport on the way.
Oh, well, never mind then.
He may actually try to drop them instead to avoid that bunker once he sees it.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Never mind, I didn't see the starport. My bad.
He will probably make a command center as well, because with this build, you can have about the same amount of minerals you do with a regular reactor Hellion expand with the starport. So cut the minerals off with the starport, and the medevac you may make.
TaeJa is saved up for a command center. He's going to build in a moment, I think. Unless he's going to do something else crazy. He actually got up to 500 minerals there for a second. There's the command center. That was a little strange.
That was a little bit strange. He's still checking around with an SCV to see if there's any further proxy structures. NaDa's actually lifted. He's just going to make a few Hellions and send everything home.
Yeah.
Losing a lot of production for this. It's so far away from him to float. His barracks lifted up a long time ago. Still isn't even home yet. Oh man, NaDa is in trouble with build orders here. He started his command centers. Command centers even late. He is making a Banshee right now, though, which may help even the tide if he can get a lot of worker kills. But TaeJa's got a decent amount of Marines out. He's going to have a Viking out in time as well. Should be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be plenty fine, I believe. It's not going to be a problem for him at all. Really curious to see how this plays out. Now, NaDa, this build didn't work, but it's, he didn't really lose too much. It's not like he suicided his Hellions. He can still use them for map control. If he gets in a battle with the Marines that TaeJa has, then he can micro them to get a lot of damage, and NaDa will micro his Hellions to get extra damage on the Marines.
Yeah, he will.
That's one of the things that I like that kind of made me a NaDa fan, actually, is watching his games where he'd have 3 Marines and 2 medics, and he'd micro them like crazy all over the map and just do as much damage as possible with very few units. And Viking's going to chase that.
Yeah, that Banshee flew
off.
right into the Viking. His flight path was just unfortunately that way, and boom, nothing done.
Wow.
By the Banshee, and TaeJa has actually just slapped down anything NaDa has thrown at him at this point.
Oh,
He's going to catch this Viking though. Maybe.
No, he's going to go back. Didn't want to meet up with that second Viking of TaeJa.
Yeah.
Raven is on the way for NaDa.
The Hellions of NaDa are checking to see if TaeJa's moved his command center down just yet. They see that he is not. He's going to perhaps do some harassment if there was no bunker. NaDa just actually with a lot of scan energy saved up. He was really concerned about the possibility of a Cloak Banshee counterattack. As soon as that Raven gets out, he's going to drop all those mules.
Yeah. There's the Raven.
Oh no, and NaDa actually lifting his command center before dropping the mule, so losing a lot of mule energy here that he could be getting on the extra income that he needs because TaeJa already has an expansion up.
Yeah, he might be waiting to drop them at his expansion or something, I suppose. He did just scan TaeJa, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he wants to get the better saturation that is natural. I suppose it's a decent choice for him to have made. These Vikings...
He's still going to get the minerals, Wolf. He'll just get them a little bit later, don't worry.
It's alright. TaeJa is actually sitting his Vikings around to try to catch any additional Banshees that NaDa has made. I really like that. He's just being bold with those Vikings. As a Viking to say bold, I like it. Well, NaDa's still saving a lot of scans right now.
That's weird, actually, yeah. And, wow, siege mode is done for NaDa, so those Vikings cannot land, but the siege tanks of TaeJa can assault the SCVs on the low ground.
Actually killed a lot of workers already.
This is interesting. NaDa, he placed his tanks in a forward position, but not for this.
It's starting to make sense why he saved those scans. He knew he was not going to have air control. He needs the scans to move his tanks forward and deal with this. But he has regained air control with the point defense drum. The command center is starting to get a little bit low here, though. He's going to have to lift or repair that.
Oh, those Vikings are going to die. Nope. Are they? Maybe not. Those little Vikings are just sitting on the ground with almost no health. Well, if they can't lift up. There they go. There goes one. There goes the other. So yeah, NaDa now has definitely has air control now.
Yeah, he does.
He's gonna have to move his tanks, and yeah, TaeJa knows that NaDa's just gonna move his tanks in, so he falls back.
Well, he lost about 4 SCVs, and he lost a lot of mining time. Right now, the worker count is 43 SCVs for TaeJa to 37 of NaDa. NaDa with another factory on the way.
Interesting. NaDa moving out a little bit.
Yeah, he wants to take control of the center of the map. Feels like after that engagement, he's got a better army.
Yeah, especially with the decisive air control.
Yeah, he's actually just going to turn the table to do exactly what TaeJa did to him back at him. He's going to give him a taste of his own medicine.
I don't know if he can, though. He doesn't have as many tanks. Oh, no. TaeJa coming from both sides. NaDa's siege is up. Will the siege mode be able to make the difference? The Vikings land.
The Vikings
yes,
landing
it will.
buffering here, and it looks like NaDa is going to crush the army of TaeJa, lifting up his Viking a little bit prematurely, though, and he still will beat the army of TaeJa.
Oh, just bare. Oh, he's going to go within range of the tank.
Man.
Oh, no.
Will he drop an auto turret to finish it? No.
Oh, that's too bad.
But
that was clever by TaeJa, though.
NaDa ends up about 20 supply behind after this, but he has 3 factories, well, a third finishing up, whereas TaeJa is still producing off of just 1 factory and multiple barracks. NaDa's starting to get a better composition. Remember, we talk about this all the time. When you go bio, or especially if you go marine tank, if your opponent has a really high tank count, especially one above 5 to 6, your marines just aren't as significant. We saw it in that last battle. And TaeJa is going to have to get those factories going, something that NaDa does not have to do. So the supply difference isn't going to mean as much if NaDa can consistently have the better composition. Take out these rocks.
Yep, TaeJa's going to go ahead and take out these rocks, try and take a third. I believe NaDa looks to be doing the same thing. And yeah, neither player can really break each other right now, so it's a smart move to go ahead and do that. Yep. There's NaDa breaking down his rocks. A little bit of a fight going on over the tower. And yeah, NaDa's definitely going into just heavy mech play. He is getting the blue flame upgrade. He's getting some more tanks out, more Vikings, Hellions. And TaeJa's pushing across the map, though, at a point where NaDa doesn't have a ton of forces. He's been getting his production and his upgrades going. But he's just going to siege up, and that
Yeah,
is the crucial thing.
He sieges up first. He actually gets a shot off. The Marines are going to stem forward here. Does he have enough?
No.
He didn't have vision at that moment, so he's not able to fire all of his Marines right away. That was a huge blunder by TaeJa, but still takes out a lot of the tanks of NaDa. But this really helped NaDa re-secure close. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but he made the supply closer. The supply deficit is not as large as it was before. Takes out that tank in the medevac. The Banshee chasing things away here, but
oh wow, he actually saved that tank.
Marines.
That was kind of clever, picking up the tank to save it. Banshee.
Oh, stemming all of those.
Oh, is he gonna get the Banshee? It gets barely gets picked off.
I was about to be like, those Marines got NaDa, but then
but instead they got NaDa.
Yeah, they got NaDa's Banshee. I'm like the Korean casters who like see like a Baneling drop out to happen. When it doesn't happen, they like make that disappointed sound. They're like, You guys all know what I'm talking about. You know those Korean casters. They like want something really epic to happen. It doesn't happen. They get really disappointed. They're like, I
do that too, a little bit. Not in the same way, but I'm always disappointed. Anyway, so NaDa
with
is going in and taking his third.
Center, yeah, his command center's already been made into an orbital. He's landing it a little bit faster. He's going to catch some of these Marines with Blue Flame Hellions.
Oh, wow. Is he going to line them up? He's trying to get away with the Hellions, and they are going to die. Instead, should have just taken some more hits, although I guess the medevacs would have made it so that he wouldn't have gotten any kills. But TaeJa's doing a good job of keeping his units alive. He's been repairing his tanks, keeping those medevacs with his Marines.
Well, he's Marine tanking, but he's doing it the right way. He's got double factories. He's going to start adding more and more factories to get his comp. Whoa,
wow.
The mega drop!
The Vikings coming in.
Siege up first.
Oh no, he's going to siege up, but TaeJa's going to drop all over his siege tanks. NaDa, without the support units to cover his tanks, is going to get all of his tanks obliterated, and crucially the SCVs as well. But here comes some more tanks for NaDa coming from the side.
This ends the game actually though. NaDa has no more units. TaeJa coming in from the side as well, going up the natural ramp. And that's it, man. TaeJa now with double the supply. He's sieged up, and NaDa's main any units he produces get taken out by siege tank fire.
And he is probably not gonna, this is the end, you're right. TaeJa has taken out NaDa very decisively. And you know, we talk about how mech play is better than bio play, but that's in the later game when they have a ton of tanks. When you only have 3 tanks, it's actually very vulnerable. And there's the GG from NaDa. TaeJa goes ahead and takes his first game in the group.
Well played by TaeJa. I have to say, I think TaeJa and Oz were the favorites of this group. And, you know, TaeJa's someone who's always been a top player in Korea. You know, he didn't show up in the GSL until somewhat recently. He's always been a top player in Korea.
Yeah.
NaDa has too, but, you know, TaeJa just outclassed him that game, I think.
Yep. I actually, if you guys want to see more of TaeJa, by the way, I actually just put a couple VODs of TaeJa's replays on my YouTube channel, which is Moletrap SC2. If you're interested. I talked to TaeJa and I was like, hey man, you got any replays for me?
What did you say? He said yes and they gave you some?
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyway, that was a pretty good game, but, you know, NaDa just didn't have his mech production going just yet. And that was a beautiful drop, too. I mean, when you don't have a lot of tanks, you can still hold off if they're, like, assaulting against you and you, like, have the high ground. But if he just drops on top of you, there's nothing that you can do. So we're going to have the winner's match, a Slayer's Duel, coming up in 5 minutes. See you then.